right. Good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? All right, came on here a few minutes early here. We'll get everything kind of slowly rolling away. Let me drink my coffee and my water at the same time. Gotta stay hydrated. All right. Let's see here. 30. Perfect. Let me go ahead and send out the tweets. The early birds are all here. Early birds. All right. Tweets out. Discord's out. Perfect. All right. Nancy, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Tommy, my man, good morning. Mr. Needham, what's going on? Good morning. Hello, what's up, my man? Good morning. Harina, good morning. M, good morning. Ed, what's going on? Good morning. I'm good. So, came in a few minutes early here on the stream. Gonna wait till 8:35 for everybody to kind of roll in here. And we'll take it from there. All right, it's 8:30. Let's pop in to see what the jobless numbers are. They are coming out right now. Should be out. Rayhan, good morning. Philip, good morning. Eric, what's going on? CMD, what's up, my man? Oscar, good morning. Santosh, good morning. Caesar, good morning. Good morning, everybody. All right. Jobless claims, if I'm looking at it right, looks like it came in a little bit better than expected here. So that's for that. 1350 versus the 1410 they were expecting. All right. I actually forgot them, so let me put them on. There we go. Now I look more, I don't know. Uh-oh, I fogged them up. I'm not used to glasses at all. Good morning, first time here. JU, what's going on? Jonathan, good morning. Sam, good morning. Good morning, lovely people. Uh-oh, Sky's in the house. Sky's in the house. All right, guys, so how we usually do this, we wait till about 8:35. We let people kind of slowly roll in here. You know, it is early, so some people might be still sleeping. It is what it is. We'll get people to kind of slowly roll in here. Once 8:35 hits, we're going to get it kicked off. We'll start with the market sentiment, kind of what we're looking at, what the market's kind of doing, has been doing. And some levels for today, and then we'll get into some free alerts, and then at the end of that we'll get into some of the questions regarding tickers that you guys may have. Now when you guys do post your questions regarding the tickers that you have, please let me know how you want to trade that. Are you looking to swing trade it? Are you looking to day trade it? Are you looking for calls or puts? The more information you give me, the better. All right. So, we'll wait about 3 more minutes here, let everyone kind of tune in. Nancy is always asking everybody to smash that like button. Yes, guys, if you guys are here, there's 53 of you and only 18 likes. You guys are slacking. It's early morning. Let's get those likes. My man, Mr. Snowboarder, good morning. JC, good morning. Don coming in here without hesitation, dropping tickers already. At least he said good morning. Or actually, he said hello. They didn't even say good morning. Just jumped in here with Uber, question mark. All right. We got 2 more minutes and then we'll get popping here. I'll try to remember some of you guys that are asking questions about tickers. I'll try to remember them. Usually what I do is, like I said, I go over the market sentiment. I go over some of the free alerts, and then the last 10-15 minutes, I'll take questions regarding some of the tickers that you guys may have. So I see Uber, SLV. I'll take a look at those. We'll get to those near the end of the session where I go over after market analysis and all that stuff. Whack the pawn. Whack the pawn. Good morning. All right, guys. 8:34. We'll wait about 1 more minute and we'll get it kicked off. Those of you that are still watching the screen without pressing that like button, get to it. Let's smash that like button. Let's smash that like button. Edgar, I missed Mr. when he said good morning to each. I've said good morning to every single person here. Did I miss you, Edgar? No. Edgar, good morning. I don't miss a single good morning. Mikhail, good afternoon. West Adventures 1996, good morning. Baller Wade, good morning. Ricardo, good morning. You're real, AZO. Alright guys, it's 8:35. Let's get started. Looking at the SPY. We'll get right to it with the SPY and then we'll go from there. Alright, so the SPY that I'm keeping an eye on is, the SPY that we're keeping, the level that we're keeping an eye on was always this 200 moving average and this little pivot back here at 447. Alright, 447, 448. There was a lot of congestion here simply because that was the first pop back towards this 200 moving average, and then we saw that sell-off kind of take place and happen. All right, so when we pop back to these 448s, this 200 moving average, we saw a lot of hesitation and selling pressure kind of start coming in. And yesterday we saw that weakness again. We tried that 448 one more time here, and then we rolled over. All right, so we can see that we had that red candle put in. We opened, tried to push up. We lost momentum. We came close bottom of the day here, and it's a little bit of a concerning candle. Again, not enough volume to kind of be too worried, but it's a healthy pullback, guys. We went from 416 to 448, 450, and now kind of pulling back. Very healthy, something I wanted to see. Now it's a matter of how far down are we going to go? Are we going to consolidate before we make the next move forward? All right, so let's get into the closer time frame here and take a look at what levels I'm kind of paying attention to. All right, I'm going to pull up my levels here. Bam. All right, so the level to keep an eye on here on the SPY today is going to be this 447. All right, 447 is going to be vital. Why? Because we've clearly put in a little bit of a double top at this 447. And we can see that we're struggling at this area. If we can't get above this 447 area, we're going to look to retest these two levels right here, the 445.30, 444.80, lose that, and then we're going to retest yesterday's lows of 443.96. All right, now this is where it kind of gets interesting. If we lose this level, we're going to come down to our next support. It's a simple levels game here. If we lose that, we're going to come down to 441.76, and then ultimately this 440 level. Now, why this level is important is if I go back to the daily here, you're going to see that we have some support. This 50 moving average is sitting pretty close to that 441. It's at 440.97. Right? So that's the level I kind of want to see the market pull back towards as a healthy pullback, that 441 area, nice and slow and steady pullback to those 441s, 440s, and then kind of consolidate before we make the next leg higher. All right, now that's the downside levels. If we do get back above this 447 level, we could look to retest these 448, 448.50 levels. That was a big issue yesterday, right? We can see we hit it once, sold off, hit it again, dumped. So that's going to be a concerning area. Again, on this day right here, this was 2 days ago, I guess. we came above and we held that level. It held as support, old resistance, new support. So that's the level that we need to get above. If we get above the 447, this is going to be a problem area. Get above that, then we have our next resistance points that's clearly visible right here from the other day at 450.58, and then ultimately we could look to push back higher. Okay, like I said, the healthy thing here would be to kind of consolidate before pushing a little bit higher. As you can see, we're kind of losing some volume on the day on this big move up, so we need to kind of refuel for the next leg higher here. All right, so that's in regards to the SPY. Let's take a look at the Qs here and see what Qs are doing. So we saw the SPYs pushing towards the 200. We knew coming into this last few weeks, tech was relatively weaker. In the last few trading sessions, things changed a little bit where we got some more momentum in the Qs. However, still overall very well beneath the 200 moving average. All right, so putting in an inside day candle here on the Qs. It's an inverse hammer. It's a bullish. It's a bearish candle. So got to see what's going to pan out here. Again, the healthy thing with this would be to kind of pull back, consolidate before it makes the next leg higher here. However, let's take a look at the closer time frames. All right, so right away you can very easily see we have a very similar look to the SPY. We hit this 355 area, sold off, tried again, sold off, almost a little bit of a double top here in the pre-market. All right, so gonna put my levels back up. Perfect. So that's the level we're gonna watch to the upside. All right, if we're able to get above this level on the long side, these two areas are going to be levels to watch, right? We have this 355.55, which was acted as resistance, new support, which is pretty defined right there, so we can't invalidate that. That's an area to watch. And then we have this 356.50, 357 area, which coincides with this big congestion area. That's the level to watch after that. Now, if you clear these, there's a good chance we're going to push 358, 359, but the key level here will be, first of all, the 355, and then these 356 levels. Okay. Now, if we fail to get above that, obviously, when we're rolling over, we're going to roll back to the next support. You can see this support right here is pretty vital. Let me pull up my pen. We have support right here at the 352.40. Again, right here, right here, right here. It's very respected, this level right here. 352.35 is a very respected area, right? Well, I'll point it out here again. Right there, right there. A little bit right here, right here, right here, right here. All right, so this level, the 352.35, is going to be a key area to watch if we decide to kind of roll over and hit this level. Lose that, we're going to come back down to the 351, 350, and this is where it kind of gets tricky here. Okay, 350.70 level is going to be pretty key, because if we lose that, we open up for a pull down to the 348. Now, if we look at the daily chart, we have our 50 moving average sitting at around 350. All right, so just like we did on the SPY, we have a similar look right here. The 350, this line right here is at 350.11 area, right? So where is this lining up with? Pretty close to that 350 level. Lose that, and we do have room to kind of fall down to the 348, as there's not much support until at least down to that 346 area on the daily, right? And then you have your 20 moving average at 342. Right, so those are the kind of levels to watch on the Qs. Keeping an eye on this 355 if it rolls over, and looking at that 352 level, and then 350 to kind of hold here before we get some further sell-off. Above the 355, we could look to retest these 357, 358 levels. Okay, now that is that in regards to the market. What levels to keep an eye on? You guys should jot down your levels, understand where your resistance are, and as you're trading, always pay attention to what you're actually doing. If the Qs in the SPY has pushed up significantly, and you're looking to go long on a stock, well, you need to take that into consideration, because if the market decides to reject these levels, then you're in a call and the market rolls over, and most chances are your stock is going to roll over as well, unless you're in a name that has relative strength. All right, so let's get into the free alerts here. UPST, we're looking at calls over the 121.30. All right, simply we have some resistance from yesterday right here, pre-market resistance. Get over that. We should look to push up higher here. Under the 119.80, which is the support right here in the pre-market, looking to take this to the downside. All right, so above this 121.30, we're looking to take it at least up to the moving average, maybe 124, possibly 127, and then roll over here. You're gonna look to go retest yesterday's lows right here at around 117, and then some support at the 115 area. Okay, after I go through all of these, I'll let you guys know how you can take these alerts and how to kind of benefit from them. All right, so next one is BA. 187.50 is the level to kind of pay attention to. You can see right here we have this this resistance area from yesterday. We have this pre-market resistance right here, and we also have this area where the stock kind of dropped, so not much price action took place here. So if we can get above this 187.50 level, then we can look to kind of push up into these upper areas of around 190-ish, 191. Okay, now on the downside, we're looking at the 186.50. That's again simply a pre-market level here. We have some resistance here confirmed as support in the pre-market. We lose that, could look to fall to 185.50 and ultimately the 183. Okay, this is good to kind of keep an eye on, because if the market decides to roll over, we have the direction for the downside, and if it pops, we got the pop side or the top side to take advantage of as well. Next one is Facebook. Is this a 4-hour or daily? This I'm flipping through the 15-minute and the daily, but right now we're sitting at the 15-minute. Next one here, Facebook, looking at the 215.50 level. Again, you can just see lots of these charts look very similar today, and that's why we kind of have these plays, because we have pretty good channel set up here in the pre-market stuff that we can kind of take advantage of. All right. Same thing with Facebook over the 215.50. You could look to retest these highs of around 217 and then possibly that 219 area if you get above this 215.50. Right under that 214 level, 214.50 level, which is your pretty much support right here in the pre-market, you could look to roll down to this 213.17 level. All right, those are the two trigger points that I'm looking at. We do have nice range to kind of push up on these. Now, how do you guys take these alerts? A lot of times people always ask me. There's always new people tuning into the channel, so let me explain this again. If it's within the first 5-10 minutes, guys, oftentimes as we come up to the trigger, I take the trade right here. All right, I don't wait. I don't wait for a 5-minute candle to close. I don't wait for anything to kind of close. I watch the price action, and if we're looking like we're about to break out here and we're looking strong, I'm taking the trade right away, because oftentimes the first 5-10 minutes you're gonna get that explosion move up, and then the choppiness happens before it's taking another leg up. All right, in the first 5-10 minutes, I'm taking the trigger right as it comes, right there. All right, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, I'm taking advantage of the first initial move and I'm getting involved. All right, let's say there's about half an hour or an hour that goes by, then volume out of the open really dies down. You can see every time we open, we have these big volumes coming, and that's what I want to take an advantage of. Now, if I miss the open and an hour goes by, and let's say the stock kind of consolidates, does this stuff, and then it's coming down to the trigger point, well, I no longer take it right here. If there's an hour that's gone by, there's lower volume in the market, I wait for the breakout, retest, and I get in on this retest for the push high. That's the safer play, because you no longer have volume or the masses kind of behind your back. You have to wait for a retest to let your premiums kind of die down, for them to kind of get back to normal before you can take advantage of the next move up. And a retest always confirms the breakout anyways, so that would be a better trade in the afternoon. All right, so that is that. Now I'm going to get into chat. I think somebody mentioned Uber, so I'm going to jump into Uber because that was the first ones. I think this pop right here is news related, if I'm not mistaken. Uber shares are trading higher Thursday morning following a Wall Street Journal report indicating that the company has reached a deal to list all New York City taxis on all New York City taxis on its app. Great. That's good to know. Anyways, this Uber right here, you're sitting at around 355. I think the play here would only be interesting to me if we can get back above that 355.50 level. Otherwise, you're kind of chopping around. You got that pop. It didn't really hold. and now it's coming back down. The risk of coming back up here and rejecting is high, so you have to wait for a break of this 355.50 to take it to the next resistance point, which I got at 36.30 if you're looking to day trade that. All right, let me get through the chat here. Again, if you guys have questions, let me know. Just let me know if you're day trading it, if you want to swing trade it, and whether you guys are trying to buy calls or puts. All right. So the person that asked me about Uber calls, I would only be interested if we get above 335.55, or we put in some sort of a bullish pattern, like a cup and handle right under this level. Then I would be interested for calls there. MU76 calls. Let's talk about MU. Someone wants to know about MU76 calls. All right, so MU hit this resistance area and kind of rolling over on the daily. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. 76 calls. Yeah, 76 calls work, but you'd have to get above at least pre-market resistance here. We have pre-market resistance 76.60. Lots of these tickers look the same. We've kind of gapped up, putting in a little bit of a channel. All this needs to be kind of panned out to the upside, and it's going to work over 76.60. Get above that 76.60 level, then you can look to take advantage of the move up, which is your next resistance point would be right here from yesterday at that 77 level. All right, so if you want to take calls for a day trade, great. Over the 76.60 level, then you can look to push it to the 77. Let me flip this to line. Perfect. All right, next one. Tesla calls over 1,010. Tesla going to be very market dependent, I think, today. But over 110. Tesla calls over 110. So Tesla is kind of sitting above 110 right now. If you're looking for a trigger point, at least this area right here, which is yesterday's resistance, 118, 120 would be the level that you're looking to buy calls at on Tesla. I got my perfect. Next one, MU. I think we talked about MU here. First time here. I followed you on Twitter. Awesome, Jay Strong or Jay Strong. Welcome, my man. How do you watch so many stocks and make sure you pick a good one? So my routine is very detailed from the night before. I start when the market closes. I put together a watch list. I come in pre-market. I look at my levels. I look at my trigger points. Whatever is closer to my trigger going into the open is what I'm really focusing on. And then I have my other charts, of like 35 stocks. And if any of them are making big moves, I pay attention to them and wait for some sort of a pattern to pan out. Morning from Toronto, Simon. Good morning. I think someone's asking about AZO. Not sure what you're trying to do with AZO, but it looks pretty good here. Daily chart looks good. 1978. Next resistance will be that big 1990, 2000, and then above that you got room. If you're already in calls, great. But if you're not in calls, you have to wait for a breakout of that 1980 level on AZO. Is this a 4-hour daily chart? This is a 15-minute chart, usually that what I'm looking at. They're 15-minute charts. You can see the time frame I have right here. So if you take a look at this right here, it tells you what chart I'm on. So this one is a daily. If I switch it to the 15, it'll tell you 15 minutes. So keep an eye to the top there if you're looking to see what time frame I'm on. Got BNO US ONX 40 calls April when it was down to 26. Wait to sell. BNO when it was down at 26. Great dip by there. Wait to sell. I mean, after such a big move up, I always say, first of all, what was your goal? If your goal was a short-term trade, then you're up 23%, right? You have to kind of take profits on the way up. Maybe take off 75%, 80% of your trade and let the remainders run, right? Because the chances of this pulling back is possible. And after a 23% move, we could look back to kind of fall and consolidate. That's just the nature of how things kind of work. And you also have kind of decreasing volume on a move up, which is it points to a divergence or an exhaustion. So we could see this kind of fizzle out before making the next leg. So you might want to take profits or take some profits off before you let the rest run here. BABA, let's take a look at BABA. Lots of Chinese names came into this resistance area, and like they put a pretty ugly candle, but there's still lots of buyers came in last few days. Let's take a look at BABA here. BABA, I'm keeping an eye on this thing under that 115 level. I think, what was it? Yeah, under this 115 level right here, 115.70 area, looking to take this advantage of the downside. I think the move up here is getting a little exhausted. Looking for a quick day trade on these things if they get back under that 115.70 area. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are still here, go ahead and smash that like button. There's about 100 of you here and only 42 likes. Let's go. Get that likes in there. All right. Apple, the next one. Apple, very strong move yesterday, and just had a little bit of a sell-off with the volatility spiking near the end of day. Apple will only be interested in calls if we get back above this pre-market support level. Again, it might be a little bit extended. You know, putting this move in and then kind of popping up here and not making a new high is a little bit of an issue. But you know, if we get back above this 171 level, 172 level, I think you do have room to retest that 172.64. But again, we need market to kind of push up here. Keep an eye on the cues, keep an eye on the sectors, on the SPY, and then see if we get that strength. If we do, you could take the trigger of the pre-market highs here at 171.80 for that move higher. Keep looking to swing LAC. I hesitated at double bottom break and don't want to chase. Can you see if there's still room? Thanks. So you know, that happens all the time when we find a stock where, you know, we identify a nice trade, but you know, essentially this move is gone, right? It went from, what is this, 24 all the way to 33, which is about, you know, a 40% move. And if you took the breakout here, you know, this move would have been about a 15-17% move. So now you're seeing some topping candles here. You have to wait for a better setup here. I know you've spotted this trade early on. Unfortunately, you missed it, and that happens. We do miss trades, but to get involved here, where is your risk going to be, right? Your risk has to be at least at these levels, down at around 29, 32 entries, 29 for a possibility to move back up. The risk to reward is not worth it anymore, and we just have to kind of move forward or wait for a better setup here before we get involved on a swing trade on LAC. Mara, please, let's take a look at Mara. Not sure what you want to do with Mara. Again, like I said, let me know if you're looking to buy calls, puts, but I'll tell you what I think of it. Nice little resistance here at this 30-30 level. If we can get back above that, we could look to kind of push about $1 or so. Lots of resistance here. It looks like at this 31.50, which coincides with this pivot high right here, right? Now it gets really interesting if it gets above that 31.60, right? You can see every time we come up to these areas right here, we're seeing selling pressure. We came up to it, we're seeing selling pressure. Now, if you get rid of that, if you get rid of that 31.60 level, then you have room to kind of push back up at least to this moving average, because your next resistance is sitting at around 35. And essentially what's happening is you're in a little pocket here, right, that you can kind of look to get filled into. All right, so over to 31.60 would probably be the better play on Mara here. I did not talk about Oxy, but let's talk about PayPal. Someone just mentioned PayPal. PayPal daily chart looks like it's trying to flag, right? We have the support at 113.70. Under the 113.70, we could look to roll over. Wouldn't get involved any other time unless we get above that 119.50 level, right? We can see this little tight consolidation taking place. Over the 119.50 level, we could look to retest that 125. That's when I'd be interested to play the long side on PayPal. And under the 113.70, we could look to drop to the 110 level. So those are the two levels to pay attention to: 119.50, 113.70. Oxy. So Oxy, nice little pop up. Again, sold off yesterday. Didn't really do as well as some of the other energy names here. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. See some decent support right here at the 59.50, right here, right? So this one, I would be hesitant to trade this on the long side unless we get above the 60.70. On the downside, it might look more interesting, but with people kind of dip buying energy, I'd be a little hesitant buying puts. Puts hasn't really worked very well on this name, clearly or fluidly, I should say. Under the 59.57, possibly we get that flush to the 58.60, but we have to kind of wait maybe over the 60.70 if you want to buy calls on it. Any news? Any new recourse? Are you watching during news? No, you know, at the end of the day, my levels have proven to me over the last 8 years that that's all that really matters. You know, there's times where you're in a trade and a news hits, and unfortunately, you know, you're caught in that whiplash, and hopefully, you know, you're in the right direction. But I don't really pay too much attention to the news at the time of what's really going on. I try to stay off the markets when the FOMC minutes are happening. And once the news comes in, that's great. Essentially, what's going to happen is those levels are going to be back into play. The resistance is a resistance because people have bought and sold at that area. A support is a support because people have bought and sold at that area, right? So that's where there's buying pressure and selling pressure, and news or not, those levels will always be respected. Let's talk about Duke for a flat top breakout. Flat top breakout, not sure what time frame you're looking at. Weekly, no. Daily. I mean, there's a little bit of a flat top here at the 107.75 level. If it does get above that, yeah, you could do that. Maybe a 3-point risk to take advantage of the upside. That definitely works. But the daily candles are just too choppy for me. There's too much wicks. I don't really like trading these kind of charts. But it's there. You can see that it's got a nice little consolidation happening here. Over the 107.70 could get it going here as well. Do you look at VWAP for day trades? I do look at VWAP. I look at VWAP. VWAP is great, especially when you have that explosive move take place out of the gates. And then usually the first dip down to the VWAP is the level that it should hold. And oftentimes it does. But you need to get that explosive volume move out of the gates in order for the VWAP to kind of hold. All right. So we're coming into 9 a.m. here, guys. I do have to get back into the Discord and get ready for my trading as well as the room's trading. If you guys asked a question and I did miss it, I am sorry. I will get to it. Just, you know, shoot me a message on Twitter. If I did miss it, I'll get to it. Discord, message me there. I always answer my DMs. And again, as always, guys, we do tune in here every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Just try to come in here, give you guys some analysis, some market sentiment, some free trade ideas to kind of get your day going. And as always, if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll always answer it. Be sure to smash the like button if you guys are already here and you're still here. I would greatly appreciate it. But as always, thank you guys all for tuning in, and I will catch you guys all next week.